For wild animals, life is all about survival. And in this battle for their own place in the natural world, each has adapted in amazing ways, evolving unique abilities and anatomical mutations, allowing them to thrive in even the toughest environments. And in this fight for survival, some animals have also developed an arsenal of highly toxic weapons. Deadly predators use powerful venoms to incapacitate huge prey or kill it instantly. Other species use their deadly poisons for self-defense, warding off predators many times their size. But a few lucky animals have evolved an immunity to these highly toxic venoms, all in the battle for survival. It may be huge predators like lions and crocodiles that strike most fear into humans. But the planet's most deadly animals are often much smaller. Like scorpions. And thanks to their highly toxic venom, the smallest scorpions are usually the most lethal. And these tiny assassins hunt at night. This is a death stalker, growing to a maximum of just 10 centimeters. It only has small, weak pincers, a clear indicator of the strength of its venom. Over millennia, these animals have developed the most powerful venom of any scorpion. The Deathstalker's tail carries a stinger full of neurotoxin that quickly disables its prey, which is vital, as its main prey is the camel spider. Armed with the biggest jaws relative to body size in the entire natural world. This one is using them to dig a new tunnel, allowing it to hide from the desert heat. But whilst the camel spider is distracted, the Deathstalker is moving closer. Tiny vibrations from the spider help the scorpion locate its target. Then, using its pincers, it strikes. But this is no easy kill. The scorpion must avoid the spider's powerful jaws. In strength, the two insects are equally matched. But it's the scorpion's venom that eventually gives it the upper hand. A scorpion's highly venomous tail isn't just for hunting. It's also a powerful defensive weapon. Most large animals aren't brave enough to hunt scorpions. But this fennec fox could be an exception. He's on the hunt for a meal with a bit of a kick. This is the world's smallest wild dog. It's only 20 centimeters tall, but it has oversized ears that help keep it cool and locate prey. It knows that a sting from this scorpion will be painful, but is hungry enough to take the chance. The scorpion's venom is usually a lethal deterrent. But somehow, the fennec fox manages to inflict a deadly bite before the scorpion can use its sting to defend itself. Small creatures like scorpions use venom to defend themselves against much bigger animals. But here, on the Indonesian island of Komodo, this huge predator has also evolved a venom to make up for a surprising anatomical weakness. Komodo dragons are the planet's biggest lizards. Growing up to 3 meters long, they can weigh almost 100 kilos. And these carnivores can kill prey as large as a water buffalo. But despite their reputation for killing, Komodo dragons have a weak bite. No stronger than a domestic cat. Their secret weapon is venom. The Komodo has developed a lethal toxin in its saliva that slowly kills its victims. One bite is all it takes. All it needs to do is scratch the surface with its serrated teeth. Then the venom goes to work. The toxins loaded in the saliva lower the victim's blood pressure and prevent its blood from clotting, leading to massive internal bleeding and, eventually, death. Only then is the Komodo's patience rewarded. Without venom, the Komodo would be unable to catch prey anywhere near this size. It's an evolutionary weapon that allows them to kill large animals without risking injury. Despite the lack of strength in its bite, the venom in the Komodo's saliva means it has earned a reputation as a lethal killer. But it's the venom of a much smaller predator that has turned it into one of the planet's most prolific killers. Despite their size, army ants kill more animals in the Amazon rainforest than any other creature. This single colony already contains more than 1 million individuals. But the next generation of ant larvae housed inside this nest are almost ready to emerge. And right now, they need to be fed. With military efficiency, the entire colony embarks on a mission to find food. Scouts set out across the forest floor, laying down a scent trail that the worker ants can follow. These ants create bridges over gaps in the trail. And huge soldier ants guard the route. Packing powerful pincers, they are a formidable foe. Sweeping through the forest like a tsunami, the ants take down any prey they encounter. They use a powerful venom to subdue their victim. Before systematically dismembering, then carrying the body parts back to the nest to feed their young. Killing up to 30,000 insects a day. It's a combination of organization and toxic venom that makes them the forest's most prolific predators. But the toxic power of the ant's venom also helps another species. Some insects, lucky enough to escape the swarm of ants, fall victim to another predator: ant birds. The birds have worked out that the advancing ants flush out insects for them, making their own hunting much easier. They'll seize any opportunity to snatch the ant's prey, a task made even easier once the prey has already been immobilized by the ant's venom. Ants do not only use their venom to hunt. Some species have developed the ability to use the toxic liquid in self-defense. Springtime in the Carpathian Mountains. In the pine forest, brown bears are emerging from a long hibernation. But this huge mound is no bear den. It's an ant colony, home to around 250,000 of them. Although these ants sometimes use their huge numbers to kill insects, this colony's staple food is honeydew. Produced by aphids, it's a sugar-rich sap. The tiny bugs feed on the pine trees, secreting the honeydew, which the ants then drink. And this symbiotic relationship also benefits the aphids. In return for producing their favorite delicacy, the ants have developed a unique way to use their venom to protect the aphids against predators, even as big as the brown bears found in these forests. Despite their size, bears gain almost all their nutrition from foraging nuts, berries, and insects. This mother is teaching her newborn cubs where to find the insects' favorite hiding places. On their own, aphids would be helpless. But with the ants around, if the bears venture too close, they risk a faceful of venom. Building up pressure in their abdomen, the formic acid in their tail is fired through a venom gland. With a range of almost a meter in height, the acid sends the bears running for the trees. The ants' projectile venom is a powerful deterrent, but even large animals sometimes need to defend themselves with venom. Stingrays are carnivores, closely related to sharks. But their huge barbed stingers, almost half a meter long, are used solely for defense. And few animals would risk attacking a large ray. Its toxins are stored in glands on its underside. If provoked, the ray will whip its attacker, the barbed stinger injecting a pain-inducing venom. But it's the razor-sharp stinger itself that is most deadly, capable of leaving potentially fatal cuts or piercing vital organs. Stingrays are also masters of camouflage. Often submerging themselves when hunting to ambush prey. But this ray has struck the jackpot. A squid nursery with hundreds of thousands of eggs. The ray may be exposed while hoovering up the baby squid, but it's a treat that's too good to miss. Looking out for sharks above him, he may think he's the only predator around. But down here, danger can come from any direction. Having disturbed this much larger ray from its hiding place, he's lucky to escape a defensive strike. Despite the speed and power of its tail, these masters of disguise only use their venom in self-defense. But some predators combine both camouflage and venom to lethal effect. Hiding in the branches, this Chinese green tree viper has two huge fangs loaded with venom, held in venom sacs at the back of its mouth. It's a hemotoxin that causes severe bleeding, killing the flesh and causing extreme pain for any animal that lives long enough to feel it. These vipers often strike from above, surprising their unsuspecting prey with lightning speed. On the forest floor, this hungry mouse is just out of range. But his brother is climbing towards danger. Using stealth and camouflage, the snake needs to get closer. Now in range, it coils its body slowly, calculating the perfect moment to strike. The viper's fangs sink into the mouse's body, pumping it full of venom. The viper holds enough venom to kill a large deer. A mouse doesn't stand a chance. Once the fangs have done their job, the viper uses them to gradually maneuver the mouse down into its throat. And in just a few minutes, this meal has all but disappeared. Snakes aren't the only venomous animals lurking in these forests at night. This slow loris may be cute and cuddly, but these tiny mammals have a poisonous bite, making them the only venomous primate on Earth. She has a mirror-like layer behind her retinas, doubling the power of her night vision. Even in this darkness, she can spot prey from 50 meters. But like everything, getting close enough to strike takes time when you're a slow loris. Once within grabbing distance, the loris is an efficient killer. But her toxic bite is only used as a deterrent. The toxin is activated by licking a gland on their arm and injected into its victim using sharp teeth, producing an anaphylactic reaction in its attacker. The secretion is also licked and applied to their fur during grooming to protect themselves and their infants from predators. This toxin, similar to a cat's allergen, serves as a warning for any animal that might think the loris is an easy target. The loris sources its toxins from the insects it eats. But one species of insect has developed an even more ingenious way to extract poison from another species, to use it in its own self-defense. This tree nymph caterpillar actually has a taste for poison. To protect its foliage, the leaves of this dogbane are loaded with toxins. It may deter most insects, But it's exactly what these caterpillars have been searching for. They can tolerate the amount of poison in the leaves, but it knows the stalk contains a lethal reservoir. So delicately, the clever caterpillar cuts off the pipeline before it starts to eat. It doesn't eat the poison just because it likes the taste. The caterpillar's body now carries the toxins, creating its own poisonous defense against predators. The more dogbane leaves they eat, the more toxic they become. This poison protects them as they grow and begin their metamorphosis. The caterpillar hangs from a leaf using barbed hooks. What happens next is truly miraculous. Enzymes start to turn the caterpillar's tissue into liquid. Gradually, the caterpillar sheds its skin, unveiling a chrysalis. The soft chrysalis hardens, forming a protective cocoon. Inside, the liquid cells begin to change. Two weeks later, the caterpillar has reached the final stage of transformation. And the tree nymph butterfly starts to emerge. It's one of nature's most remarkable events. The tree nymph dries off its body in the spring sunshine. Before flexing its delicate wings for the first time. And finally, takes flight. But a predator has been waiting. This orb weaver spider's web is over 1 meter wide and almost invisible. It seems the newly hatched tree nymph's life is already over. But this is exactly what the butterfly has been preparing for. Still laced with the toxins it ate as a caterpillar, the butterfly is completely unpalatable to the spider. So the spider is forced to cut it loose. The poison it absorbed from the dogbane leaves has saved its life. There are many plants that use their toxicity to deter animals from eating them. But one species goes even further in its fight for survival. This incredible tree is actually able to warn other trees to turn on their biological weapons if it comes under attack. one of the few species tough enough for this dehydrated desert. The acacia tree somehow ekes out enough water to survive. Its small, succulent leaves make it a target for animals. These trees may be heavily armored, covered with huge razor-sharp thorns. But a few animals have found a way to infiltrate these defenses. The gazelle's long neck and narrow muzzle enables them to strip the leaves. So the acacias have developed another invisible weapon in their armory. Using poison. When their leaves come under attack from the gazelles, they sound a silent alarm. The acacias release ethylene into the air. It warns other trees up to 45 meters away of the impending danger. The neighboring trees then ramp up production of the poisonous tannins in their leaves, turning them toxic enough to kill. What were delicious and nutritious leaves just moments ago have turned bitter and potentially deadly. The acacia's poisonous reaction allows the hungry gazelles to gain just enough sustenance to survive, but stops their feast quickly enough to protect the trees from being wiped out. In their struggle to survive in this harsh terrain, the acacias use communication and poison to protect themselves. But in the jungles of Borneo, a species of plant has evolved an even stranger use for its toxic fluids. This pitcher plant has evolved an ingenious way to cope with nutrient-poor soils by extracting nourishment from another source: living creatures. These plants are carnivores. They use nectar to lure in their victims, and the plant's slippery edge is designed to make insects lose their footing. Just a few centimeters below is a deadly reservoir, filled with digestive enzymes that dissolve the bodies of anything unlucky enough to fall in. Its waxy walls make escape impossible. This lucky fly takes off just in time, but its previous victims are already being slowly digested. During its life, the pitcher plant's toxins will claim thousands of insects, amphibians, and even the occasional rat. But this tree shrew appears to have mastered a technique for drinking from the plant's reservoir without falling in. The deadly pitcher plant will have to wait a little longer for its next victim. In their battle to survive, plants and animals have evolved toxins to use against other species. But here in the tropical rainforests of India, there's one species of venomous snake that is also cannibalistic, using its lethal toxins against other snakes. This is a king cobra. This huge predator is the longest of all venomous snakes, and its Greek name translates as snake eater. It has 2 fixed fangs which pump venom into its victims like hypodermic needles. Other snakes have more potent venom, but it's the amount it can inject in a single strike that sets the king cobra apart. Just one bite could kill this adult elephant. To ensure he isn't stepped on, the king cobra also has another weapon. Its unusual hiss that sounds more like a growl. But it's saving its venom for another victim. The king cobra also has incredible eyesight, locating prey up to 100 meters away. And it's capable of tasting the air in stereo. She's detected a potential target on the other side of the stream. Slowly, she closes in. Her venom instantly paralyzes the snake. Then she starts to swallow it whole. As the longest venomous snake on Earth, it has earned its title of king cobra. And by dislocating its huge jaws, it can actually eat snakes bigger than itself. But there's a species of sea snake whose venom is even more powerful than the king cobra. On this rocky coastline, a colony of semi-aquatic creatures rule the waters. This is a yellow-lipped sea crate, one of the planet's most lethal predators. Her venom is a neurotoxin, which immobilizes her victims almost instantly. Adapted for the ocean, she has a paddle-like tail. And her lungs run almost the entire length of her body, allowing her to hunt for prey underwater for up to 20 minutes between breaths. But luckily for these fish, this sea crate prefers to save her venom for the eels that hide amongst the coral. But if she spots prey, she'll need to move fast. On this reef, there are dozens of hungry sea crates on the hunt. And they aren't alone. The sea snake's hunting party is always joined by large shoals of yellow goatfish and bluefin trevally. As the snakes use their venom to paralyze any eels amongst the coral, the fish have learned to stay close. enabling them to hoover up any fleeing fish with little effort. While the younger snakes continue hunting, the largest female in the colony has other things on her mind. It's breeding season. Many smaller males entwine themselves around her, hoping for an opportunity to mate. This cluster of snakes can stay like this for days. After mating, sea kraits hide their eggs in highly secretive nests deep amongst the rocks. Only 2 nests have ever been discovered. Having mated, the females head back to the ocean to hunt. But it seems not everyone got the memo about only mating on land. This male still has only one thing on his mind. But having already mated, the female resists his attempt to copulate underwater. Fortunately, females are twice the size of males, and she is easily strong enough to fight him off without resorting to her venomous bite. But even if she did, the sea krait's bloodstream contains its very own antivenom. So her venom, lethal to other species, would be no use against the male. Like many deadly creatures, sea kraits are immune to the lethal effects of their own venom. But one species of fish is notorious for its natural-born immunity to the toxins of an entirely different creature. And this immunity has become a vital part of its story of survival. A clownfish. Living amongst the poisonous tentacles of a sea anemone. Only clownfish are immune to its stings. Making its home inside this deadly anemone one of the safest places on the reef. But the fish must earn their keep, ensuring the anemone is kept spotlessly clean. Thanks to their immunity to its sting, it's the perfect place to raise their offspring. This pair are preparing a site within their refuge. The female then lays her tiny eggs in lines. which the male fertilizes. The anemone's tentacles providing a safe haven from any passing predators. The male provides constant care to the growing eggs. It takes a huge amount of effort to keep the eggs clean and healthy. But it's paying off. The next generation's tiny beating hearts are now visible. Thanks to the protection of the anemone's poisonous tentacles, these baby clownfish will soon be ready to emerge, born with the same incredible immunity as their parents. In nature, animals use venom as a weapon in many different battles. From hunting prey to scaring off predators. Some venoms act slowly. Others are so toxic they can kill almost instantly. But not all animals are vulnerable to the power of poison. The lucky few are immune to certain toxins that could kill any other animal. In the battle for survival, it's venom that can turn the smallest animal into the most deadly creature on Earth.